My grandfather died mysteriously. His journal revealed something worse. I was halfway through my drive when I got the call. My grandfather had died. No warning, no illness, just gone. The official report said he passed in his sleep, but something felt off. At the funeral, the unease was clear. People whispered about what a good man he was, but their eyes said something else. Afterward, I drove to his farm, needing answers. The house was exactly as he left it. Boots by the door, a half-empty coffee cup on the table. But the silence was suffocating. In his study, I found his journal. At first, it was just farm notes, but then the entries changed. March 4th. Saw it again today. A black shadow by the cattle pen. Looked away, and it was gone. March 21st. One of the cows, head clean off. No tracks, no struggle. The sheriff blamed wild animals. No animal does that. April 14th. Steve visited today, but something was wrong. He barely spoke, just stood there, watching. The dogs wouldn't stop growling. Steve. My name. I hadn't seen my grandfather in months. The air felt heavier. Then, a floorboard creaked behind me. I wasn't alone. A shadow stood in the hallway, tall, thin, shifting like heat off pavement. It took a step forward. I ran. Outside, the cattle were panicked, eyes rolling with terror. One collapsed, convulsing, its skin rippling as if something moved beneath it. Then, with a sickening crack, it split open. A shape crawled free, too long, too thin, no face, until it smiled. I ran for my car. The thing followed, limbs moving too fast, too erratic. Just as I reached the door, a voice whispered, "Hey, kiddo." My grandfather's voice. I slammed the door, but his face stared at me through the window, stretched too tight, eyes too dark. His mouth moved, but the voices weren't his. "You don't recognize me?" I floored it. I didn't stop until I saw city lights in the distance. I told myself I was safe. Then, the next morning, my mother called. Her voice was off, flat, forced. "Hey, sweetheart," she said. "You coming over for dinner tonight?" She never called me sweetheart. "Mom, are you okay?" I asked. Silence. Then, too smoothly, "Of course, kiddo." My blood ran cold. She never called me that either. Outside, the wind was still. Something was watching, and it had followed me home.